Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rockland Roundtable podcast. I'm Beth Seflu, the County Strategic Communications Director.
And I'm Jenna Nazario, the Director of Economic Development, Tourism, and Film.
And today's actually going to be a really fun episode because today we are going to be interviewing Jenna.
Woo! Yay!
And you know what? It's great because honestly, I know that people aren't a fan of economic development or tourism necessarily, but it actually is such a big component of like what drives the county, what helps fund the county, what helps fund businesses. So I think maybe we should start on, let's break down first what is economic development and tourism and maybe the differences between the two.
Yeah. So especially, you said people don't like it. There's
they hate it. They hate tourism.
Well, yes, because it's misunderstood a little bit. Absolutely. So our department is economic development, tourism, and film. So we're kind of a three-part show and a group of 5 individuals that run it all. And economic development is an opportunity for us to bring new businesses to the county, but also support the businesses that are here in Rockland. So we have always believed 1,000% that our small businesses are the fabric of what makes Rockland so special. And so our economic development, since I took over last year, has really kind of took a whole rebrand. And we are now the rock solid Rockland County. And we are as strong as the bedrock that we sit on, right? So it's to kind of show people from the outside that this is a place that you can live, work, and play, and you want to invest in Rockland. Because what economic development does is it supports jobs, it supports families, it supports infrastructure, it supports the entire built environment. And when I say built environment, which I say a lot, that's my public health background kind of go. I do. I mean, when you really know what it is, you're talking about it all the time without really knowing it. But the built environment is identifying how one thing, one decision can affect everything else. So when you talk about parks and playgrounds, you might not think that that's important to economic development, but it absolutely is, because when people come to invest in the county, they want to know, what do you have to offer when I'm not at work? Do you have open space? Do you have local cuisine? Do you have cultural diversity? Do you have things for me to do on the weekends with my families, or whatever that may be? So that's looking at it from that vantage point. And then when you look at education, without economic development here, without big companies investing here, then we don't become universities. We have the opportunity for our colleges and our universities to really grow their curriculum because we're setting ourselves up as the place to invest, the place to build the next step of business, whether, whatever sector that may be. So our economic development department looks at all the trending sectors. It looks at what's happening in the world. It looks at how Rockland can position itself, but also being environmentally conscious and just really respectful of the residents and just the topography and geography that we sit in here in Rockland. And again, supporting our small businesses. We partner with local nonprofit organizations to educate our small businesses, to help them build capacity, access to capital grants, like really looking at ways that they can continue to scale up and build, because again, they really are the ones that we support every single day. And just looking at ways to partner with other organizations beyond us at the state and the federal level. So our department is really what I'm hoping to build is that white glove service, that concierge service that you get. So if you are Empire State Development, or you are, the IDA or the RBA, and you're bringing a potential developer to the table, you can come to us and we can be that conduit to the people that you need to speak to the information that you need to gather, and to the relationship that you need to build. So that's economic development in a nutshell. Tourism is really important. And I think when you said people don't like it, it's tourism you're talking about, not so much economic development to a certain extent. Obviously, we don't want to build big industries right behind, someone's backyard. Yeah. But tourism, since I came here to the county, 6+ years ago, I've been surveying residents throughout my different positions, just to kind of see, what is the issue? How can we help? Where should resources go? And tourism is always one of like the things that you can pick on the survey questions. And it's always at the very, very bottom. Nobody's interested in tourism, but I think it's a little misunderstood. The whole point of our tourism department is to market the county as a premier destination for outside visitors. At the same time, building kind of civic pride, because you live here, you experience Rockland every single day. You could find something that you didn't know, right? So it's kind of being a local tourist at the same time, but the overall overarching goal of tourism is to bring outside visitors to the county to spend, to help build our revenue, because that burden shouldn't always be on the resident. It would be impossible to keep up with the amount of revenue and sales tax and all financial incentives that we need to run, to put that on the resident, because you'd have to be spending money every single day, all day, to keep your businesses open, to keep, your local restaurants busy. And we don't want that. So we create an opportunity to make Rockland a destination by partnering with our restaurants, our organizations, so that people come from outside the county. They do come, they visit, they have a good time, and it lessens the burden for the resident, which then inevitably really reduces the financial burden on us.
It does. So we track the number of fiscal impact it has.
Yes.
And I believe that thanks to tourism, the average resident saves about $680?
That was from 2024. Yeah. So the expectation is that's going to go up a little bit in 2025. We don't get those numbers for, that tends to happen later.
Yeah, they would have to pay $680
more a year
in taxes.
Yes.
For the same amounts of services that they're getting.
Yes.
All thanks to other people coming in and spending their money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just so you know, in 2024, again, 2025 data is not out yet. It's always a year behind. In 2024, outside visitorship contributed to almost $600 million in revenue here in the county. And of that $600 million, do you know what the majority of the money was spent on?
My guess is food.
Yes, food and beverage and hotel. So you're seeing, we follow these trends, and the way we follow the trends is we look at what people are spending on. We can track everything. We can track where people go, how long they stay in a destination. We can even track some spending based on the credit card that they use. And we can start to really see what their habits are. And then we market the county that way to say, okay, listen, you can have this experience here. It's local, or if you're on a day trip, or if you want something new, come to Rockland and experience it. But just under $400 million was food and beverage and hotel.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, and I'm all for that. I love food too. So yeah. I love showing off.
Love food?
I know. And I love showing off the restaurants and the cultural cuisine that you can have.
We have great food here.
We really do.
We
really do. I've always considered Rockland kind of like a little New York City, especially like our villages. And it's like you can get everything you want there, but with a little local charm, it's a huge variety. Quieter.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then film. Let's not forget film, because we are rebranding our film.
There is so much filming that actually happens here.
Yes.
And more than people realize. I mean, you'll see the occasional article that sometimes people pick up that something's getting shot here or there. If it's somewhere, like downtown Nyack, it's very obvious. But there's actually a lot of shooting that even happens on county property, which people may not know.
Exactly. Mostly on county roads. I mean, so the county itself is really only responsible for county property. And we collaborate with the different departments that help us make sure that everything runs smoothly, whether it be on, one of our farms or just on a county road. We have proper security. We're just aligning with everyone who needs to be aligned with, so that it runs the way it should without interfering with day-to-day life for everyone. But filming in general in Rockland happens way more than people think. And I always get the calls like, what's happening on this road in Orangetown? I'm like, I don't know, because that's Orangetown, but we'll always call, and we connect with our partners in the towns and the different municipalities to see what type of filming, because Rockland is a destination, and with a lot of the film crews positioned in New York City, we stay within that certain mile radius that they're allowed to film. So Rockland really is a premier spot for that.
What are some big shows that have been filmed in Rockland?
Oh, yeah. Well, so recently, Dexter.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I will not disclose any locations, but yes, Dexter. We've had Severance, and I'm just trying to think because again, some of it was for us. It was the Peacock show with Natasha Lyonne. Poker Face, Poker something.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I should know that, right?
It's okay, I didn't know it.
Yes, but no, we do. We get a lot of TV shows. There's a lot of film opportunities coming up, and we use our building. The county building is a really good one. The big county building used to be a hospital, so it still has some floors that
have
look like
retained
a
the hospital room,
yes,
so they've used that for shows. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, we get a lot of interest. We're competing. We're competing with Westchester. We're competing with Orange. We're competing with New Jersey. So we have to make sure we can stay just as competitive as them. So looking at what the trends are for filming. You do see a lot of shows now are being filmed in New York. New York State came out with some incredible incentives for filming to come back to the state. Yeah. So you're seeing a lot of filming that was happening internationally coming back to New York. And because, again, we're in that radius of where you can film. And our outdoors, oh, man, do our outdoors do really well with film. We've had a lot of Law & Order, the show FBI, the parks and the open spaces is really what gets people.
That's something I wouldn't even thought about.
Well, you can have your car chases. You can kind of you have explosions and stuff outside. Nothing actually blows up. It's all, it's all within its limits. But yeah, it's really great to see the amount of open space that is always of interest.
And honestly, all of this is so important because it plays into what we were saying. The more money that we can make through tourism, through bringing in economic development, through filming opportunities, it helps offset costs in so many ways. For instance, the county hasn't raised taxes in 5 years.
Exactly.
In fact, we've cut taxes.
Exactly.
People don't believe me when I tell them this, even on social media. They're like, my tax bill went up. But it's not the county tax line.
No, it's not your property tax.
That went up. Yeah, the county property tax.
Exactly.
It's the other taxes that went up.
We won't talk about that. We have nothing to do with those. But yes, the property tax has stayed. And if we continue to build economic development and we continue to build tourism responsibly, then there is opportunities to potentially, reduce your tax burden even more so that if other things do go up, it offsets. So it doesn't hurt as much because people are struggling as it is. And this department, there are multiple departments in the county. You have your health and human service departments, which are really meant to help individuals on the day-to-day for the financial struggles that they have. My department is honestly meant to find ways to take the financial burden off of you and find other ways to invest in the county. And again, going back to tourism, people don't like that because why would we spend money on tourism? Well, we're not really spending money on tourism. We're spending money on marketing the county. We're finding opportunities. We've worked with the state. We got an Empire State Development grant to host really big parties, like block parties here during the World Cup, which to us, it just shows that Rockland is a contender because we were only one of 3 counties that actually received this grant.
Wow.
Yeah, it was us, Westchester, and Queens. That's it. And from what I was told,
statewide.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because we are strategically located. There's a reason we're called the gateway to the Hudson Valley. We're very close to New York City. We are a destination in and of itself, and it's time to now let people know what type of destination we are. But it's things like that, being strategic and finding ways to partner and collaborate with other agencies to find an opportunity for our residents to have something to do, but bring people to celebrate what we stand for. Show off our small businesses, show off our beautiful outdoor landscapes so that people come back. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we saw with the Super Bowl, people probably don't even remember that the Super Bowl was played at MetLife many moons ago. I don't know. I don't even know what year it is now, let alone what year that was played.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I do remember it was a really beautiful day, and then it was like a blizzard the next day. I do remember that. But when MetLife Stadium hosted the Super Bowl, that was a one-day event. One day. And the amount of visibility and revenue the county built on that alone, and it wasn't even promoted that much in Rockland. Westchester County killed it, and they're farther away from MetLife Stadium than we are. It just goes to show that when you put a little bit more into it, when you just give someone an incentive, an opportunity or an event to come to, there's ways we can build revenue without it really inconveniencing anybody. So the World Cup is being played. There are multiple games being played at MetLife. So it's kind of like a month-long event where people from all over the country and world will be visiting. And there's an opportunity for Rockland to show off a little bit. So that's what we're going to do.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's smart. Right?
Yes, yeah.
It's a smarter way to invest because there's that saying you have to spend money to make money.
Exactly.
So we're investing in ways to grow the county. And when you talk about people having a hard time financially, I mean, think of the businesses too, right? The everyday person is struggling to make ends meet or, things. I mean, let's be honest, things have gotten more expensive, right? And who's that going to impact? The businesses. But most of these businesses are your friends, your family, your neighbors.
Exactly.
And if they close down,
then
what does that do? What's the ripple effect of the businesses closing down? Because people are against more tourism or events or people coming here and spending their money. We need them to be here and spend their money.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're absolutely right. When a business closes down, if it's on like a main street, then what happens? All of the traffic that they were bringing in, that disappears.
I know.
And so all of a sudden, then you see that trickle, that domino effect. And one of the questions we get all the time is, why is this storefront vacant? What happened to this business? Well, I think you need to really look at it and say, do you know what it takes to keep them open financially? And you're absolutely right. The cost of things has just
I can't even imagine.
Skyrocketed. And since I have worked for the county, I have always kind of had my pulse on knowing what's been going on because of the surveying and going out like with the ARPA department, which is where I came from, I'm taking your job now, communications, community relations. It was a way for us to actually go out into the field and talk to people. Now, that was during COVID when people were afraid of getting sick. They didn't have the PPE. They were struggling financially then. And then everyone said, okay, we're out of it. Things are improving. But then things started to change for some, but not for everybody. And this position has really allowed me to, again, be out there with people, really hearing what their financial struggles are. And our small businesses are doing everything they possibly can to stay afloat, some of them. And it's like, we will do whatever we can to help them. So that's why we're partnering with local organizations to help them build their brand better, find ways to, cut costs if they can, access to capital if they need additional grants or loans.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do when they have invested so much to make Rockland so great.
Yeah.
So if that's the partnership, I welcome that partnership every single day.
Yeah, and think of the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it.
Exactly.
It's everything.
Exactly. So yes, if there is any way the county can really showcase all of those businesses and all of our organizations that do such incredible work here that can just get a little bit of when people come in, then I'm happy to promote the county, and I'm happy to find ways that we can do that.
Yeah. And I know, so aside from doing the block parties for FIFA, which is very exciting, I can't wait to see those and see how they do. I know that you also bring in Miss New York here.
Miss New York is coming.
That's really, I'm not a sports person, so I know FIFA is exciting for some, but I'm a little bit more excited about Miss New York because it's very different and unique.
Yes.
So you can touch a little bit on that.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about the economic impact that you're so far seeing.
Sure. Yeah. So Miss New York, you had to actually kind of bid for it, just like everything else. You have to bid, you have to apply, you have to see if you can get awarded these. And we were contenders, and they chose us, which we were really excited about. They are coming for an entire week. So the Miss New York pageant is going to be held in June, and they're going to be having it at the Cultural Arts Theater at RCC.
So exciting.
Which is such an underutilized theater. Have you ever been there?
I might have been there once.
Oh, it's stunning. It is stunning. When I got like a tour of it, I couldn't believe that was in our backyard. And the field house at RCC. Like, it is incredible, some of the things that you can do there. But yeah, so we're really excited. So they'll be coming for the week. The contestants come. They kind of break up their time between rehearsals and going out into the county. And what's amazing is wherever they go, wherever we send them, they will be marketing it for free on their social platforms. So every restaurant that they go to, every organization that they go to, any person that they meet, that's going to get blasted out on their social media. And there are 25 contestants. So you have 25 platforms plus the Miss New York platform that's really going to be branding the county for us, which we're really excited about. And what we saw in the Miss New York pageant and just the whole team was that it's a scholarship program. It's an opportunity to show off New York like no other, because these are representatives of the state. We don't have a Miss Rockland yet. I'm working on that. I think we should have a Miss Rockland because we have some incredibly talented, smart, beautiful women here that should be contenders. But let's have the pageant first, and then we'll talk about that. But
well, having it here actually might inspire people too.
I hope so. I mean, you can come. The Cultural Arts Theater sits 500 people. You can come to the Thursday, Friday, or Saturday crowning of Miss New York. You can go to the preliminaries. Like it's entirely up to you if you want to be a part of it. There's an option for that. But yes, because there's 25 contestants, there's also a significant amount of volunteers. That's hotel room blocks right there that have sold out. And that is, they actually were already here a few months ago, kicking off the pageant. They went to a ton of restaurants. And all I did was say, hey, listen, these are some restaurants that you might want to go visit in the village of Suffern. I could not believe how much on social. It was Danina's, it was Sushi Bada, it was like all these places, and they were having such a good time. They were showing off the hotel. And I'm like, this is exactly what we're talking about, just supporting these local businesses and saying like, even beauty pageant contestants come here, you know? And so that's what's happening. They're going to be doing that while they're here the whole week. We're hoping that the newly crowned Miss New York will come to one of our block parties because it happens to be the same weekend. So the newly crowned Miss New York will hopefully come to one of our FIFA block parties. Okay. But yeah, and the one thing about the Miss New York contestants is not all of them are originally from New York. So their friends and family fly in and they come to watch them compete.
Yeah.
So we have hotel blocks. We've been tracking all of that to see how many people are staying at the hotel if they're coming. We're really trying to build out itineraries to give them fun things to do so that they spend the whole week here. They don't just come on the night of the pageant. And we're starting to see that's trending. People are making it a long weekend or a whole week stay because they want to see what Rockland has to offer. So it's a joint collaboration between us and them, and it's an equal parts of legwork, you know, like they do what they need to do to help promote us. We're helping promote the pageant, but it just works out for everyone because all of our small businesses, we're sending them to Nyack, we're sending them to Haverstraw. They're hanging out in the village of Suffern. The pageant's going to be in Suffern. They're going to Pearl River one day. So we're making sure they hit every place so they can show it off for us.
Exciting. And it's smart to capitalize on two huge events that I don't even know if in the past if we've had anything that big that we've tried to invest or capitalize on or to get to come to Rockland County.
No, unfortunately, when big events like the Super Bowl again, and the World Cup has been played, you know, in other parts of the country too, and it's the #1 sporting event in the entire world. But like the Super Bowl and even the Ryder Cup and like all these big sporting events, Rockland's never put its name out there. And so we see all of our sister counties, our surrounding Hudson Valley counties, truly benefiting from this because they're putting themselves out. They're hosting an event. They're showing themselves off. And Rockland has never done that. And so now it's the opportunity to do that, to see, can we build on that? Can we just help our own county by just bringing some other people? Because they did say 80% of the visitors for these sporting events don't actually have tickets to the game. They just want to immerse themselves in the experiences that are around the area. And then 62% of the visitors actually come back to the area because they got a little like
taste,
glimmer
they liked
of,
it, and they wanted to come back.
And they want
to
to come back and experience it more.
Okay.
So our objective is to put a spotlight on all of our restaurants, all of our organizations, our theaters, like anyone who wants to be a part of it, to say, hey, give them a little taste of something so that you welcome a new audience that you've never been exposed to before. And let's see if they come back.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you would want to say before we wrap it up about tourism and all the things that you guys are doing or economic development?
I would say just if you have questions, if you're really unsure of what we're doing, just ask. Like, come and ask. We host an economic forum every year. We're going to be doing something in the fall to kind of bring all of our businesses together, kind of like a home show, like a vendor show, so that residents can really see what's out there and that investors can really see how Rockland works together. So my thing would be, have an open mind. You know, tourism isn't what you think it is. I promise I'm not going to make this place like a beach town and there's going to be traffic galore. You're going to have to leave the county for the whole summer. That's not going to happen. That's not the type of destination we are. But we're doing it really mindfully of the residents and making sure that not only do tourists love Rockland, but you as a resident can see Rockland in a different light and really appreciate it.
Yeah. And let's not forget that it's because Rockland is such an amazing place, a beautiful place.
That's why I live here.
That people want to come here.
Exactly.
So, I know that in some ways that's a blessing, and maybe some people think it's a curse in some ways, but you live in such a beautiful place that people want to visit.
Exactly. Exactly.
I live in Staten Island. Nobody's visiting there. All right, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, we're not getting tourists there. Right?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, I heard your mozzarella cheese is pretty good, so maybe just
we
bring
do have
some
good mozzarella
to me.
cheese,
Yes.
but not many people are crossing the bridge just for that. So
I know, that's true. That's true.
I'll bring you some mozzarella cheese.
Thank you. But yes, Rockland, it's, our slogan is expect the unexpected, because even as a resident, I can't tell you how many times I've been like, I didn't even know that was here.
Yeah.
And, we always kind of just the hustle and bustle of life, you kind of confine yourself to your little 20-minute bubble.
Your little bubble. Yes.
And that's it. And if you just went out of that bubble just a little bit, you'd be amazed at some of the places that you can explore or some of the things that you could do here. And just, we have everything. We have art galleries. We have off-Broadway theaters. We've got, music, tons of music, different jazz. We have a jazz cellar. Like, we've got it all, And so we've got shopping. We've got entertainment. We've got plenty of food. And we're happy to show it off any way we can.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us on this episode of the Rockland Roundtable podcast. Jenna, thanks so much for being a guest today.
Oh, well, I love being here with you.
I know. I do enjoy it. It's sad that it's over. But as always, remember that we do have a community corner. If you have questions or comments that you want to send in, please let us know, so you can send it in on our YouTube channel. It's all in the captions of the videos or our social media pages.
Sounds good. Thanks again.
Bye.